All right, story time. So I'm kind of an older guy, and I usually like to stay within a 7 year range, older or younger, when it comes to dating. It sucks when there's a generational gap and they've never listened to 80s music. Anyway, on Bumble, this hot 26-year-old swipes right on me. So being the guy that I am, I swipe right on her. Now we're a match. She starts the online conversation with little effort with something as simple as a hello. I responded about a half hour later, asking her how her week had been. I got no response back from her for days. And that's how online dating goes, with the majority of people talking to multitudes of other people interested in them at the same time. Don't expect to be her number one or the only guy she's talking to, and don't be upset if you're her fourth or fifth choice. It's better than not being considered at all. Anyway, after 5 or 6 days, she responded with, "It was good." I responded with, "Good," a day later. In the meantime, I continued to talk to other women trying to score a date with someone else. About a couple of weeks later, I get another message from this chick asking how my week was going and if I had any plans for the upcoming weekend. Obviously, her first several or dozen choices didn't pan out, or maybe she was a busy single parent like me. Whatever the case was, I knew it was her way of telling me indirectly I was next in line to ask her out on a date. I waited a couple of minutes and then messaged her back that my week was going well. I was kid free this weekend, although I was busy, but I had some free time to take her out if she was interested. She agreed to a date on that Friday night. We messaged each other back and forth for about an hour, and I got to learn all about her crazy self. But you know the old saying, the hotter, the crazier. A relationship is one thing, but going on a date with a psycho is no big deal, and everyone has their issues. We agreed that we would meet in the Walmart parking lot at 9 p.m. on Friday and go walk around the store and talk. Lame, I know, but a lot has changed since 2020, and indoor dining was not an option at that time. I show up at Walmart at 8:59, message her that I made it and to let me know when she got there. 15 minutes went by. I couldn't believe I waited there that long without a response, but the possibility of boom boom was on my mind. I messaged her to let her know that I had to leave, that my neighbor texted me about my garage door being left open. I left Walmart and went home defeated. At 9:45 that night, I got a message from Crazy asking where I was at and that I stood her up. I messaged her back that I wasn't going to wait around for anyone that long. She messaged me back that I owed her a date. I responded with my address. I was over it at that point. About a half hour later, as I was watching TV, I heard a suspicious noise outside my front door. As I opened my door, I saw someone run to their car and speed off. I just so happened to look at my car and saw the shape of a male hot dog made from 20 or so marshmallows on my car hood. I thought it was pretty funny. As I cleaned off my car, the perpetrator started driving up and down my street, yelling profanities at me. It was late at night, and I live in a nice, quiet neighborhood, so I tried reasoning with Marshmallow Girl as she drove back and forth down my street. Finally, she calmed down and parked her car in my driveway. We then talked for a little while and agreed to go through the drive-thru in her car at a fast food restaurant at the end of my street. She was definitely cute, and she was definitely crazy. When the guy at the restaurant handed Crazy our food that I paid for, she threw it out the window, looked at me, and said, "That's what you get, jerk." I actually expected her to do this, and I really wasn't that hungry anyway. As she drove me back to my house, I thought I'd up the ante and see if I could get her to come inside. She agreed, apologized, and asked if I wanted for her to pay for dinner that she threw out. I told her it was all good. We went inside my house, talked for a while, and she ended up spending the night. The next morning, I woke up. She was gone. When I went to the fridge to get a drink, there was a note on it that said, "Stand me up again, and I'll cut it off." And that was a clean version of it. She deleted her profile on Bumble, so I had no way of contacting her again. A month went by before we spoke again. I was in my car leaving a park when I happened to look to my left, seeing her standing there staring at me. I rolled down my window to say hi, and we started talking. She told me that she was checking herself into a psych ward for multiple personality syndrome. I felt bad for her and told her that she was making a good decision and I hoped her all the best. We said our goodbyes, and as I was backing up my car, she looked at me dead seriously and said that the note she left on my fridge was a promise and not a threat. "And I know where you sleep." I sat there for a second, dumbfounded, rolled up my window, and drove off. As I was driving away, I could see her in my rearview mirror, staring at my car until I was out of sight. It was almost a year ago, but I still think about that threat and the way she looked at me, like like she meant it.